Hello, fifth graders. I'm here for your week 4 math videos. We're going to be doing lesson 4 and lesson 5, but just in this video we're going to do just lesson 4, and then I will do a separate video for lesson 5. I want to let you know that I did see that you were doing a better job about getting some of that online work done, so I do appreciate that. So just please make sure you're doing all the work that is assigned. I know there's, it feels like a lot, but it really isn't. If you think about in a week's time, really it's only about 2 hours a day as opposed to being in school for longer amounts of time. So if you could just please make sure you're doing everything every day that you're supposed to be doing, I would really appreciate it. And I do see that you have made a better effort this week. So keep it up and make sure that every day you're doing all of those online programs, and then you also do the Google Classroom assignments that are being pushed out to you. All right, so I want you to get your lesson 4 in front of you, and you're going to be starting on page 17. I'm going to flip the camera down, and then I've got to put it the right direction, and then we'll get started. Okay, so we are going to be multiplying by 1-digit numbers. Now I know we did this last year, but we learned a bunch of different ways to multiply by 1-digit numbers, and this year we're going to be really, it looks like you guys are going to really be focusing on the standard algorithm for multiplying by a 1-digit number. So I can multiply multi-digit whole numbers by 1-digit numbers using regrouping and place value. So we're going to step it on out. Ada walks 1,274 steps once around her neighborhood. If she walks around her neighborhood 3 times, how many steps does she walk? So we know she's going to walk this many steps 1 time around her neighborhood. She's going to be going around her neighborhood 3 times. So that tells me that we need to take the 1,274 and multiply it by 3. So if we were to first estimate the number of steps Ada walks, let's think about that. Let's round our number so that way we could figure out about how many steps she's going to take, so we can see if our answer is appropriate, right? If our rounded answer, if we get an off-the-wall answer when we multiply, then obviously, we must have made a mistake somewhere if it's not matching up with our rounded number. So let's think about our about. If I were to round this number to the nearest 100, I know my 7 tells my 2 to become a 3. I keep my 1 the same, and all the other digits become a 0. And if I were to multiply that 3 times, I can think about this as 3 times, I can expand my number, right? So I could do 1,000 times 3. And then if I add that with 300 times 3, that's going to give me my answer, right? So 1,000 times 3, we have 3,000. 300 times 3, we have 900. So we know our answer is about 3,900. If we are close to that, then our answer probably is correct. Okay? So the first thing I want you to think about is we are going to multiply to find the number of steps that she walks. So first we're going to multiply the ones. So we know that we have 1,274 multiplied by 3. So in my ones place, I have 4 times a 3. What is a 4 times a 3? It is 12, right? 12 ones. 12 ones is the same as 1 10 and 2 ones. So that means I need to put a 2 here, and I'm going to have to regroup that 1, right? Because that 110 has to be regrouped with my tens place. Because 4 times 3, I'm not going to write a 12 down here. I'm just going to write a 2 down here, and then I have to regroup that 110 to go up here. So now I need to multiply my tens. 7 times 3. or 70 times 3. 7 times 3 is 21 tenths. Plus I have a 1/10 up here. So 21 tenths plus 1/10 is 22 tenths. Now I'm not writing a 22 here. 22 tenths is the same as 220, right? Remember, tens we put a 0 in the ones place. So a 2 goes here for my 2 tens, and then my 20 tens, that 2 has to come up above my 2 in my hundreds place. Now I'm going to multiply my hundreds. 200 times 3. 2 times 3, or 200 times 3 is 6 hundredths. Plus, remember I have 2 hundreds that I had to regroup and are up here. 6 hundredths plus 2 hundredths is 8 hundredths. So do I need to do any regrouping? No, I can just put my 8 right here. And now I need to multiply my thousands. My 1 times my 3 is 3. 1,000 times 3 is 3,000. So Ada walks 3,822 steps. How do we know if our answer is reasonable? Well, we know our answer is reasonable because when we compare the estimate, 3,822 is close to my estimate of 3,900, right? Isn't that close? So we know this answer must be reasonable. If we got something off the wall like 10,822, we would know that our answer is not reasonable because it doesn't, it is not close to my rounded number. Okay, so let's move on to number 18, or page 18, not number 18, page 18. So Michael walks to and from school each day. The round trip distance is 4,026 feet. What is the total distance he walks to and from school in 5 days? So every day he walks this many feet. After 5 days, how many feet will he walk? Well, we know our problem is going to be 4,206 times 5. Okay, so let's round our number to the nearest hundred. We've got 4,200 times 5. Well, what is 4,000 times 5, right? And then we're going to add 200 times 5. 4,000 times 5. 4 times 5 is 20, and then it's 20,000. 2 times 5 is 10, with 2 more zeros at the end, is 1,000. 20,000 plus 1,000 equals 21,000. So our answer should be about that. Jason's solution is shown. Work through the steps to solve the problem and then determine his error. What error did he make? So first we're going to multiply the ones. I know that 6 times 5 is 30. So I have a 0 in my ones place, and I have 3 tens that I have to regroup. 0 times my 5 is 0, but I have to add my 3. 0 plus 3 is 3. 2 times my 5 is 10. So I'm going to put a 0 in my hundreds place and regroup my 1,000. 4 times my 5 is 20. Plus 1 is 21,030. So the total distance is 21,030 feet. So let's see his mistake. What error did Jason make? Where did he regroup his number? He regrouped over to the hundreds instead of the tens. So he regrouped 31s as 300 instead of 3 tens or 30. All right. So now we need to first estimate, and then we're going to find the product. When we find the product, that means we're finding the answer, right? Product is the answer, and each one of these numbers are factors. So if we think about, let's round this to the nearest hundreds place. Our 6 tells our 8 to become a 9. So if we round our 868 to the nearest hundred, we have 900 times 4. What would 900 times 4 equal? Well, 9 times 4 is 36, and I have 2 zeros on the end, so 3,600. So now we're going to actually find the product and see if if our answer is reasonable. So 8 times 4 is 32. I'm going to put a 2 in my ones place, a 3 regroups to my tens place. 6 times 4, 24, but I have to add my 3 tens. 24, 25, 26, 27. So I have 27 tens. So I keep my 7 tens, and 20 tens is the same as 2 hundreds. 8 times 4, we already determined that. That's 32, but I have to add in my 2 hundreds. 32 plus 2 hundreds is 34. So 3,472. Is our answer reasonable? Yes, very reasonable. Number 2, we're going to first estimate. So let's round this to the nearest thousands place. So 8 tells my 4 to become a 5, and I'm going to multiply that by 8. 8 times 5 is 40, and then I have 3 zeros at the end, so our answer should be about 40,000. 5 times 8 is 40. So I'm going to put a 0 in my ones place. It's 40, so it's 4 tens. So I need my 4 up above my tens place. 0 times 8 is 0. 0 plus 4 would be 40, right? So 0 plus 4 tens is 40. So I put a 4 there. 8 times 8 is 64. So I'm going to put my 4 here, and I know that that is 6 D100s, which would be 6,000s. 4 times 8 is 32. Sorry, we've been doing that one a lot. I shouldn't mess that one up. 4 times 8 is 32. 32 plus 6 is 38. So our answer is 38,440. Is it reasonable? It sure is. All right. Let's estimate this one. 9,000. Let's round that to the nearest thousands place. So it will be 9,000 times 7. 9 times 7 is, I hope you said 63. So it would be 63,000. 2 times 7 is 14. So I keep my 4 in my ones place, and I carry my 110. 7 times 7 is 49, and 49 plus 1 is 50. So I'll have no tens, but I will have 5 hundreds that I need to add on. 3 times 7 is 21. 21 plus 5 is 26. 9 times 7 is 63. 63 plus 2 is 65. 65,604. Is it reasonable? It sure is. A kilometer is approximately 1,094 yards. Toby runs a 6-kilometer race. About how many yards does he run? Well, let's round our 1,094 to the nearest thousands. And we're going to multiply it by a 6-kilometer race, which is going to equal about 6,000 yards. All right, now we are going to move to the on your own portion. So if you want to try this independently, which I strongly encourage you to do, then you can come back and check your answers and make sure they are correct. Okay? I would strongly encourage you to do that first independently and then come back and check. So, number 5, with the on your own. First, we'll estimate to the nearest hundreds would be 900. We'll multiply that by 3. 9 times 3 we know is 27, and I take those two zeros and I put them on the end. So let's see if we're about correct. 5 times 3 is 15. Carry my 1. 1 times 3 is 3, plus 110 is 4. And then 9 times 3 is 27. So 2,745, yep, sure sounds reasonable to me. Number 6, round this 1,354 to the nearest thousands. So we have 1,000 times 9. Well, 1,000 times 9 is 9,000. 9 times 8 is 18, so I keep my 8 in my ones place and I regroup my 110. 5 times 9 is 45. 45 plus 110 is 46. 3 times 9 is 27. 27 plus 400s is 31. 1 times 9 is 9. 9 plus 3, 12,168. It is still reasonable, right? It's still reasonable. It's still within a close amount. Okay, number 7. Let's round to the nearest thousands. 4,000 times 4 would be 16,000. Excuse me. 6 times 4 is 24. So I have 2 10s that I have to regroup. 0 10s times 4 1s is 0, plus 2 10s is 2. 300s times 4 would be 1,200. So I would put the 2 here, and I would regroup a 1,000. I'd regroup that 10 hundreds. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 1 is 17,224. So sounds reasonable. We're going to estimate this one. Round 5,033 to the nearest thousands, which is 5,000 times 7. 5 times 7 is 35. And then my 3 zeros are tacked on at the end. 3 times 7 is 21. So I regroup those 2 10s. I keep my 1 in the ones place. 3 times 7 is 21. 21 plus 2 is 23. I regroup that 200s. 0 times 7 is 0. 0 plus 2 is 2. And then 5 times 7 is 35. So we have 35,231. It is definitely reasonable. All right, number 9. We're going to round our 8,926 to the nearest thousand, which is 9,000. And we're multiplying that by 5. 9 times 5 is 45. And then tack on our 3 zeros, so 45,000. 6 times 5 is 30. So I put my 0 in the ones place and I regroup my 3 10s. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 3 would be 13. So I keep my 3 in the tens place and I regroup the 100. 9 times 5 would be 45. 45 plus 1 is 46. So I'm going to regroup the 4,000s and keep my 6. 8 times 5 is 40 plus 4. So we have 44,630. Number 10. Let's round this to the nearest 10,000. The nearest 10,000, our 7 tells our 2 to become a 3. And everything else, zero's your name. So 30,000 times 6. 3 times 6 is 18. And then how many zeros do I need? 4. So 180,000. 8 times 6 is 48. I put my 8 in my ones place. My 4 regroups over my tens. 5 times 6 is 30. Plus 4 is 34. Regroup my 3. 1 times 6 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. 7 times 6 is 42. I regroup my 4. 2 times 6 is 12. 12 plus 4 is 16. 162,948. So it is reasonable. All right, now we get to kind of fill in the blanks. We need to find the unknown digit. So if I multiplied 8 times 7, I would get 56. So that 5 would come up here, right, to regroup. And I would write the 6 here. 3 times 7 is 21. 21 plus 5 is 26. So I would regroup my 2 up here. And they already have the 6 in the tens place. 4 times 7 is 28. 28 plus 2 is 30. So there should be a 0 in the hundreds place. All right, we need to find 3 digits for this one. What times 3 is going to have a 7 in the ones place? Giving you a little time to think. I'm hoping you said 9. 9 times 3 was 27. I regroup that 2. 3 times 3 is 9. Plus 2 is 11. So I put a 1 there and I regroup the 1. 9 times 3 is 27. Plus 1 would be 28. So I put my 8. They already have it in the hundreds place and a 2 over the thousands. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 plus 2 is 14. So this one should be 14,817. Now we've got 4 to fill in the blanks for. 4 times 9 is 36. We regroup our 3 tens. 3 times 9 is 27. 27 plus 3 would be 30. Oops. Oh, sorry. That was my mistake. We need to put a 3 up there, right? So what times 9 plus 3 will give us an 8? Well, anything 5 times 9, right, would be 45. 45 plus 3 would be 48. So does that sound about right? And if I put the 4 here, 5 times 9 is 45. 45 plus 4 would be 49. That one was a little trickier by leaving that digit out. That one you might have had to do some process of elimination and trial and error to figure that one out. In Michael's neighborhood, there is a rectangular pathway that is 152 feet long and 9 feet wide. What is the area of the pathway? Well, I'm hoping you remember that area is when we multiply the length times the width. So we know that 152 feet is the length, 9 feet is the width. So we're going to need to multiply 152 times 9. 2 times 9 is 18. Regroup the 1, 10. 5 times 9 is 45. Plus 110 is 46. 1 times 9 is 9. Plus 4 is 13. So we should have 1,368. And when we find the area of something, it's always square feet. Square feet. Which I hope you don't have square feet. That would be strange. You have to find some very strange shoes for square feet. Number 15, a farmer has a cornfield with 9 rows of corn. Each row has 1,026 corn plants. How many corn plants are there? Well, our total in each row is 1,026 corn plants. And there are 9 of those rows. So I know I'm going to need to multiply 1,026 times 9. Because each one of these 9 rows has that many corn plants in it. 6 times 9 is 54. I regroup my 5 and I put my 4 in the ones place. 2 times 9 is 18. 18 plus 5. I hope you said 23. I put a 3 in my tens place and a 2 above my hundreds. 0 times 9 is 0. Plus 2 is 2. 1 times 9 is 9. So you should have 9,234 corn plants. Please do not forget your labels. Labels are important. I apologize. My allergies are revving up right now. Martha runs 1,760 yards each day for 3 days. How many yards does she run? So every day she's going to run that many yards for 3 days. So we're going to need to multiply 1,760 times 3. 0 times 3 is 0. 6 times 3 is 18, so I'm going to bring my 8 down in the ones place, or the tens place, and I'm going to regroup my 1 over the hundreds. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 1 is 22. Regroup that 2. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 6. So Martha runs 6,280 yards in 3 days. Oh my gosh. I just made a huge mistake. I apologize. I'm sorry, I'm very tired. This is the 6th video I've done today. 1 times 3 is 3 plus 2 is 5. 5. I apologize for that. I'm sure you caught my mistake. I hope you caught my mistake. 5,280 yards. I apologize again. Probably should not be doing this many videos in one day, but Sundays are the day to get my work done. All right, last page for lesson 4. Health and fitness. Oops, sorry. It's up a little too high. Darlene walks around her neighborhood. Her daily goal is to walk 4,000 steps. Does Darlene reach her daily goal if she walks around her neighborhood 5 times? Make an estimate to answer the question and show your work. Well, if her daily goal is to walk 4,000 steps, will she reach her daily goal if she walks around her neighborhood 5 times? Well, let's look and see. How many steps does she have to walk to go around her neighborhood 1 time? 852. Well, let's do a little rounding. We're going to round to the nearest hundreds place. Our 5 tells our 8 to become a 9. So we would do 900 times 5. 900 times 5 is 4,500. So do you think that she will reach her daily goal? Well, if her daily goal is 4,000 and it's about 4,500, yes. she will reach her daily goal. So now we want to know exactly how many steps she does walk if she walks around her neighborhood 5 times. So we have 852 steps times 5. 2 times 5 is 10. Bring my 0 down to my ones place, and I regroup my 1 in my tens place. 5 times 5 is 25 plus 1 is 26. Regroup my 2 in the hundreds place. 8 times 5 is 40 plus 2 is 42. So she walks 4,260 steps. And look, we can see that yes, indeed, she will get her goal of 4,000 steps. She'll surpass it. She'll go over it by 260 steps if she goes 5 times. But if she only went 4 times, she wouldn't reach her goal, correct? So she has to do at least 5 times to reach that goal. Marcia loves I apologize. Oh my goodness, I'm tired. Marisha solves a multiplication problem but leaves out some of her work. What are the unknown values of A and B? So let's just figure out what A is and what B is. And we're gonna, because this video is getting kind of long, and we can explain it while we're talking about it. So if I multiply 2 times 7, I get 14. So I know my B must be a 1, which is equal to 110, right? And then 1 times my 7 is 7 plus 1 is 8. 9 times my 7 is 63. So I put my 3 in my hundreds place, so my A must be a 6, which would be 60 hundredths, which equals 6 thousandths. So here's where you've got your place value helping you explain regrouping. When I did 9 times 7, I did 63. So I put my 3 here, but it's really 60 hundredths, or 60 hundredths is the same as 6 thousandths. And finally, our last one, number 19. Francisco solves a multiplication problem but makes an error. What error does he make, and what is the correct answer? Well, let's see what error he makes. 5 times 8 equals 40. Pretty good so far, right? He put his 0 in the ones place, and he regrouped his 4 over the tens. 1 times 8 is 8 plus 4. 8 plus 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 2, what did he forget? He forgot to regroup a 1 over his hundreds place, which is going to make everything else kind of a mistake, right? So he forgot to regroup a 1 over the hundreds place. So what is his actual answer supposed to be? Well, 3 times 8 is 24. Sorry, I was looking at something else. 24 plus 1 is 25. So where this 4 is, this needs to be a 5. And we regroup the 2. 4 times 8 is 32, plus 2 is 34. So the correct answer is 34,520. Alrighty, so that lesson was just a little bit longer than our usual lessons because there was a lot of practice for you to do. So what you're going to do is you are going to complete the homework page for lesson 1.4, the black and white worksheet, and I want you to either send it back to school or take a picture of the front and the back, and you can send it to me on email or through Google Classroom or in some way, so that way I will have that record of you doing your work. All right, I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you.